So today we're going to be continuing our Venus sign series, and today's video will be about Venus and Gemini. How is it that you guys show your love, and what do you love? What do you appreciate? What do you value? And how are you in relationships? So the first thing that I want to bring up is probably the fact that you guys are drawn to intellect. You're drawn to an exchange of ideas. You really value that one-on-one interaction you can have with people, and a relationship where you're allowed to express yourself and just shoot out ideas. A partner who allows you to be very vocal and expressive of what you think, how you feel, and whatever that might be at the moment, because you can be very changeable and you might go through phases, some shorter, some longer than others, as far as like your love life and different ways you might be operating your love life, or different types of partners you might be drawn to. Venus and Gemini can really appreciate different varieties of people. In this way, they could be the types of partners who will give anybody a chance, because they kind of see love as like this metaphor for like a box of chocolates. Just they're willing to try anything at least once, anything that like they haven't tried before. That's sort of like an experiment or like some type of adventure for them. And Venus and Gemini is actually very, very open-minded when it comes to who they partner up with and who they'll give a chance in a relationship, which is probably one of their strongest suits. So a Venus and Gemini will definitely not hold back when they have something to say about you or about themselves, about the relationship. They're always going to have something on their mind about it, whether it's about you or the relationship, or just they're always going to have an opinion about it. And like I said, they want to have that one-on-one exchange and interaction with you. So if you're able to be just as opinionated and expressive of your own thoughts and your own perspective as they are with it, then they're really going to appreciate that. They're going to like a partner who does the same, and who isn't really like reserved or shy or quiet or reticent about what they're really truly feeling. So a Venus and Gemini person will really value the transitory quality of a casual relationship. Not everything, not every time that they fall in love, they're expecting it to go super long and super deep and like have this really intense bond with everybody that they meet or that they have a crush on. These people can develop crushes like really easily, and they, like I said, they can go through phases. They can just like jump from one crush to the next, or just from one day to the next. Their feelings are very, very changeable, and so they don't mind if a relationship or a person is just kind of here for the night, or just here for just for a bit, just passing by to say hi. That's very much Venus and Gemini. That's kind of like their style. So they can be a bit of a heartbreaker because of that. Just because they like you doesn't mean that they're always definitely gonna stay there for the long haul, and it doesn't mean that you should like expect anything out of them. Venus and Gemini will really, it might be turned off by a person who puts too much expectation on them too early on when you meet them, and it's just like they don't want to have any strings attached to them so early on. But I think the person that will really capture them for the long haul and kind of like tame them, if they can ever be tamed, is just a person who really keeps them on their toes. The person who's able to keep them entertained, keep them intellectually stimulated, a person who challenges them mentally, and who plays that devil's advocate with them. Someone who is able to keep up with them in like a debate or a conversation. Just someone who matches their level of intellect. And a connection of the mind is so important for Venus and Gemini. That's one of the things that they really highly value in life and in a person and themselves. It's just, that's their strong suit, is just mental pursuits and like learning, knowledge. Just those are things that they really put on a high value in their own lives. So you, if you appreciate similar things, if you also really like to learn from a partner, if you like to spread ideas and just, you know, have a connection, have a verbal and mental connection with another, then you might be right for Venus and Gemini. They might be right for you. These aren't the type of partners who are specifically craving like this really deep and intense emotional bond with you. If you're able to keep things sort of light, sort of surface, sort of superficial, I guess you can say, then they're okay with that, and they might even welcome that, because if you get too deep too quickly, too emotionally invested too quickly, then that might scare them away. That might turn them off a little bit, because Venus in Gemini isn't like really in a rush to make things permanent, or like settle down or be attached or make any kind of commitment so early on, or even after you've been together for like several years. Maybe they want to like keep it at that level of fun and playfulness, and that's just another one of the requirements to be happy, to feel free to love you, is if you can be their playmate at the same time. So you'd have to be able to keep up with them mentally, and keep up with like their wandering mind, their curiosity, and their desire to be entertained. And they would have a little bit of a wandering attention span, and so you're going to want to keep up with that. You're going to need to like have your own life, have your own space, and learn to fly solo sometimes, because Venus and Gemini really needs their space. They're going to need time to not just, yeah, they want to connect with you, and yeah, they thrive on relationships that are equal, that are very much about two people coming together and like just talking and just expressing themselves with each other. Yeah, they do value that, and yeah, they do see that as like an ideal relationship, but at the same time, they're also an air sign. Gemini is an air sign, and so they're that gives them that quality of just needing their space and needing to fly solo sometimes. Venus in Gemini wouldn't particularly mind an open relationship, or kind of taking their time just searching out and exploring like the dating pool, and just seeing what there is right now, like what's available right now. They kind of see love and dating as like just this buffet of a variety of options, and they love that. They like to experience different types of people and just see what else is out there. Like I said, they're not gonna be so quick to like commit themselves to just one person like so quickly. They they love exploring, and they love seeing what they can get out of other people, and because they like to learn a lot from other people. And you know, like the more people that they're exposed to, the more opportunities there would be to learn different kinds of perspectives. And so that to them is very enticing, that to them is very tempting and alluring. And it's a Venus in Gemini will also appreciate you, or appreciate a relationship that can teach them new things, that can bring new skills or new hobbies or new interests into their life. If you're able to teach them something like a new skill, or introduce them to like a new hobby of yours, then they're really gonna be interested in that. They're all, Venus in Gemini has such an open mind. They're very open to new experiences and new people, and so it's not likely that they're gonna turn something down from you. And if you're like their partner, and you guys spend a lot of time together, and you bring up like a new hobby that you've been interested, or just something that you're very passionate about, then you know, introduce that to them and just bring it into their life. That's definitely something that could keep them on their toes. That's something that could keep things exciting and new and fresh, and like this source of stimulation and entertainment for them. I also feel like a Venus in Gemini will probably value your friendship first and foremost, before diving into anything romantic or like super permanent. You know, if you're able to draw out the friendship phase for as long as possible, They really wouldn't mind that. Again, they have no problem with like keeping things light and airy and casual. I think the best way to approach a relationship with Venus and Gemini is to never put any expectations or obligations on them, because they would hate that. They would probably run away from you if you like showed that you expected anything out of them. These partners tend to be pretty flighty, they can be indecisive because, like I said, they want to experience as much as they can in the world, and so they might flip flop between two different decisions, two different pathways, two different people, even, or multiple different people actually. And so if you place this any type of pressure on them to, you know, go your way, or like make a decision quickly, or do this or do that, that's a fast track to pushing them away, to just, that's really just going to make them run away and be afraid of entering or pursuing anything else further with you. You kind of have to see it through their perspective and kind of play the same game that they're playing, which is to just have fun, to just be in the moment with them. And I feel like Venus and Gemini, one of their strongest suits is just living in the moment and just getting what they can out of life, and just enjoying their time with people, whether it's for a few years or a few minutes. They're flexible that way, and they're able to move with the flux and flow of life, and whatever type of um, craziness that love throws at them, or any kind of bump in the road that they experience, like in their relationships, they're able to move with that. They're able to navigate around it, or just if they're in a relationship and they get thrown a curveball, they let it roll off their back. As simple as that. And so that's definitely one of their strong points, is they're able to be as changeable as life can be sometimes, and as changeable as love can be sometimes, because they themselves don't really put any expectation on others or themselves, and so it's like nothing to them, especially in love with Venus and Gemini. Nothing really is permanent, and they don't expect things to be permanent or long haul. It's just whatever happens, happens, basically. And, nothing really gets to them or really gets them down, or because Venus and Gemini doesn't really get their heart involved so quickly, so soon. And so it's just everything in love is just this big experiment, or like it's like this casual game that they're playing. So I think that about wraps up my Venus and Gemini video. If you're Venus and Gemini, please let me know how I did. If I missed any things that I should have mentioned, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I also want to know what your Venus sign is, whether it's in Gemini or not. What is it, and how do you feel about it? Do you identify with it? How do you act in relationships and in love? So just go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, please, and like the video if you want. You can also follow me on Twitter and Tumblr at lunarcappy, and I'll be back soon with another Venus sign video.